Star Trek Online. This is going to be my final Twitch stream. Let me be more accurate. This is going to be my final Twitch stream for 2020. We will be picking up Star Trek Online once again in 2021. Hey, Water Otter. So far, so good. How are you doing? Last week, we had the opportunity to put the Undine / Species 8472 in the rearview mirror, and we helped out a group of Talaxians find a new homeworld in the Delta Quadrant. Sounds like a great place to begin, doesn't it? So why don't we get our Admiral Tellel into the action immediately. Well, maybe not quite immediately, because we do have that Administrivia to take care of first. If we go to the characters sheet here, we will see that reputations have completed.
30 years since Voyager passed through this region of space, but the echoes of what Captain Janeway
we're not quite ready for you yet. We'll get back to you. Really annoying how they have those characters pop up. Yeah, I have been reading the Discord. Water Otter recently has gotten some upgrades to his system that are substantial. I imagine that his gaming performance is going to be substantially more awesome in the near future, if he hasn't already had a chance to try it out. Here, we're going to grab our counter command, which will clean out all the marks we had for the Undine marks, which is kind of sad because I literally need just 5. I'm pretty sure it's just 5. Yes, 5 Undine marks to actually unlock Tier 2 stuff. Well, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Over here we have the Terran Task Force, which I will pick up. And that one, I do have 5, so I can claim the Tier 2 reputation there. Only got the CPU and GPU, still need to get the rest. Oh, I would think that you've gotten the big heavy stuff out of the way. I would figure that the rest of the stuff would be kind of standard, I guess, as far as, you know, pricing. Or so I presume, having never really done that sort of thing on my own systems. I've done computer upgrade stuff for an age, and even then, I never really built my own computer. I usually have good folks at Dell ship me what looks good, because I'm a lazy bum. I still have some Terran marks to play with, so we will go ahead and grab the Terran Task Force here and kill all. Still no Delta marks. I'm kind of surprised. I would have figured I would have gotten some of those yet. MB is the only thing left they still can't get can't decide on. Well, you know, there's time. With the Christmas rush out of the way, I would imagine that the options should be more readily available. At least that's my presumption. When you don't have Christmas getting in the way, many things become possible. Alright, let's see. What do I have on my list here? Basically, they're all stuff for DS9 that I'm not going to worry about now. Very true. So let's take a look at the episode arcs. We are in the Delta Quadrant arc, aka Delta Rising. We've done the escalation, we've gone into the mindscape of Admiral Tuvok, and we've helped Tuvok rejoin Neelix. And now, we're going to look for trouble. Still gonna make the Micro Center. Micro Center. I remember Micro Center. I don't know if I still have one in my area anymore. I seem to recall a Micro Center in the vicinity of Fairfax, Virginia. Or maybe it was Vienna. I haven't been there for... What decade are we in? A long time. A very, very long time. I didn't think they were still around. It's always good to hear that they're
30 years since Voyager passed through
still in
this
good
region
shape.
of space. But the echoes of what Captain Janeway and her crew did linger. We need to reestablish relationships here. I'm assigning you a region of space to patrol. Meet the locals and find out how things stand in the Delta Quadrant today.
Well, the Lieutenant Commander has apparently not studied her history all that well, because most of the relationships that Voyager established, they were bad. But you never know. Nothing much as far as the rewards here go. Iffy XP, iffy expertise. This good stuff is going to be in the actual patrols. And looks like number 1 on the list is the Argala system. Now Argala has a kind of a history in this game, because for a while the experience points being given out for the Delta Rising expansion were hideous. They had raised the level cap at the time, and they wanted to make it feel challenging, so they nerfed the hell out of the XP for the entire expansion. But players are players, and they will always try to find the most efficient way to get XP with a minimum of abuse. And our Gala patrols, they featured pretty highly in that. So, as usual, the devs played whack-a-mole and nerfed the hell out of it. But then, time passes, XP becomes normalized, the Delta Rising stuff, not so important anymore, level cap gets bumped up further. But once upon a time, Argala was the easy street to getting XP for those painful levels between 50 and 60. Argala 6 is the only inhabited planet in the Argala system, with an atmosphere comprised mainly of oxygen and argon and average temperatures of minus 20 degrees Celsius. Survival gear is recommended for any away teams landing on the planet. We won't have to worry about landing on the planet. Third and fourth planets are high on the list of terraforming sites, being considered by the Benthan government. However, until hostile activity in the system is under control, it is unlikely that these plans will move past theoretical. Let's see what Wanted has to show us. Well, detecting an ongoing firefight. The combatants appear to be a Benthan Protectorate Squadron and some Hirogen. Well, let's give the Benthans a hand. We don't really have good memories of the Hirogen here from their little incursions that they've had into our space. Especially since they were, helping out the government of Sela in the Tal Shiar, which we might be carrying a little bit of a grudge about. I really expected to really dislike this interceptor, and I'm liking it more than I thought I would. I'm still not 100% sure that I'm going to keep it. I have certain long-term plans. But it'll get me where I want to go. I hope. Alright, bad guys beat. Benton's intact. We done good.
You have entered an area controlled by the Benton Guard. Our scans indicate your ship is armed and operational, and you have demonstrated your ability to assist in an ongoing operation. You will either join our squadron as a deputized Protectorate officer, or clear the area immediately.
I think we just got drafted. I'm tempted to go with you have no right to tell us what to do, but, you know, we're trying to repair a damage.
You are now my deputy. We are here to apprehend a suspect wanted in multiple systems for crimes not limited to theft, coercion, destruction of private property, and murder. When you arrived, we were dealing with one of this criminal's lieutenants. We've tracked the suspect to this system. Your assistance in this matter is required, and appreciated.
Well, you know, I have no problem with that.
Looks like our fight got them to notice us. Let's go over and ask if their boss might come out of hiding.
What? Oh man, it's so good. My weapons, I wonder how those pesky disable target subsystem abilities. And someone hitting me with that. That's rude. Two can play that game. Of course, my cracker tells that there's, well, I'm not worried about that. We do still have a tiny problem being relatively fragile. But being an engineering captain, miracle worker trait does a great job on keeping the hull intact, shield intact, and generally doing a job on making sure that I don't explode before, you know, danger. All that said, it's currently 4-to-1 odds. Their weaponry is doing a little bit better than my field. More shield, more hull. Suddenly I'm missing the singularity core abilities. But it looks like the odds are evening themselves out. Well, they were evening themselves out.
Keep concentrating fire on individual ships. Separate them. Whittle down their numbers.
If only he had said something like that, you know, before blowing me up. Ah well. Never easy.
We will not go quietly.
Hey, wait a second. I thought we were dealing with Hero. That's Kazon. And I could have sworn Apex were Hurricane too. But maybe I'm mistaken. Which would not be the first time. And my sensors have fried. Science thought no one could figure that out. Battleships. Nice thing about battleships is they're not exactly what you would call highly maneuverable. It's the kind of thing that makes throwing mines so much better. some more mines right on top of it. Yes, I do that. Ironically enough, no, that says here again, so I have either the Kazon have managed to get a hold of Heritage starships, or the devs made another boo-boo. I know what I'm predicting. I've made comics about some of the things that need to be looked at in this game before, and well, my opinion has not changed. I mean, honestly, if they're going to have Heritage, they should at least be flying Heritage. Sorry. They're going to be Kazon. They should be flying Kazon ships. Call it a pet peeve, but there you go. No, we're not going to let you get away that easily. There we go. Let those pines start their way. But you fail to realize that I'm dragging mines. Point to those who understand the reference. Speaking of problems, let's get that miracle worker again, because I need it. Mines are really some of the, at least in my experience, some of the more underused weapons in the game. And I decided to give them a bit of a try once I realized that one of my bridge officers had mine-laying abilities. Now, you had to know I was going to come over and scan this sooner or later. I've shown a complete inability to pass up anything that I can harvest if I can find it. Now, in many ways, this mission hails back to some of the oldest missions in the game, which is basically do your patrol, take out 5 opponents. You know, dropping the mines while I have the repeller beams on probably was not the smartest tactic I've ever come up with. Come on in. Mines are doing a pretty respectable job.
We do what we want, where we want.
So humble. I still haven't heard a good explanation as to how you guys got a hold of your ships, but you know, it's possible that I might be ranking a little too much on this. Drop in some reinforcements. Oh, field to rebalance. one more escort to deal with.
I'm taking you with me.
Is he now? Oh, there we are. Ooh. A flagship from Hunter Grell. You know, there is absolutely nothing in this mission that screams Kazon except the little things that come up in the left-hand side and stuff here, and I mean, come on, guys. It's not that hard. Unfortunately, my allies are kind of back a little bit. I didn't want to open fire on Grell yet, but I'm glad I remember to have science team shield on this ship here, because that is coming in handy. Shields, control. Oops, paying attention. Spending so much time trying to figure out when to bring up abilities to kick off that I ignored the little fact that I was being blown up. Now you'll have noticed that difficulty has taken a dramatic jump up in the Delta Rising expansion, and that pretty much will be the pattern going forward for the rest of the game. So there will probably be many more explosions of my starship in the future, and quite likely many more explosions of me in the future, on the ground, I mean. So don't be surprised. It's also one of the reasons why I have up difficulty in the game here. Because that's likely to be really, really bad. I may get better loot from doing it, but I will drop dead so many times it's not even funny. Now, with just a flagship to deal with,
Target's shield.
this fight becomes a lot more survivable. Which is a good thing, because this guy does have pretty tough shielding. Let those shields go down. 2 explosions in a mission is my limit, okay? I say that now. Times like this do make me wish I had shield draining abilities available. I have a feeling that would come in handy. Pop is, yeah. You're wondering how these ships keep vanishing. What they're using is a written ability called Mask Signature. It's basically target a ship, use the ability, and then he can't see you anymore. But it can be cleared with the use of a science team, which is what I'm doing.
Got it. Excellent work. We'll send over a pacification party, take the suspect into custody.
Now you'll see that.
Thank you for your assistance, and welcome
We'll let this
to
go
this
through
sector.
first.
We recommend that you get underway and head for secure space. There's been a lot of turbulent activity recently, and multiple reports of danger to travelers.
Anything we should be aware of?
There have been rumors that the Borg are fighting large-scale battles. We have little evidence of who against or why as of yet, but we are finding the aftermaths of such conflicts. Whoever's been fighting the Borg has caused significant damage to the collective. We're taking a cautious approach until we know more. I suggest you do the same.
Interesting. Battlefields where Borg ships are being wrecked and nobody knows who's doing it. This is a mystery worth investigating. Anything that could help. Anything that could tangle with the Borg like this could be a helpful ally or a dangerous enemy. Okay, let me monkey with my settings here. Yes, it sounds like audio might be an issue here. Let me see. Let's see about knocking down the audio here. Okay, is it any better at the moment? Now, admittedly, things sound very different when things are exploding. So that would be a little bit of a challenge to regulate. At one point I had the settings set right for that sort of thing, and then Microsoft Windows did something and beat the living tar out of my microphone settings, and which really was horrible because I was when that happened, I was attempting to do a stream in Star Citizen doing a Eternal Riders racing event, and I couldn't be heard at all. It really sucked.
We have the suspect in custody now, and we also apprehended a fair number of his associates.
Didn't this guy just
This part of space
have
will
this
be
conversation?
safer without their influence. I'm dispatching medics to treat any wound.
Yeah, just another example where you need to have the folks in the mission not duplicate themselves. I feel like this is something that should be taken care of. Still a bit of an issue. Okay, let's pop up the volume on the microphone. And we'll see how that works out in the middle of a fighting situation. You'll notice that we have a number of mission rewards acquired here. Well, this is interesting. We got triple skill points. I'm guessing this is a buff. I'll look into that more in a minute. A patrol mark package. When you do patrols, you can get daily a box that'll give you lots of reward possibilities. And we're going to take a quick look at that right now, because I can see that the timer is counting down to about 1.5 minutes. And I want to see which reputation would be the smart one to grab. I'm kind of inclined to grab the counter command just to do that upgrade. But I think I would rather do the new Romulus one. So we will grab the Romulan marks and accept that. And now I have enough to do the daily for the Romulans. Ah, excellent. We'll keep the fingers crossed. We'll see how well the audio works here. It is a never-ending battle between game audio and microphone audio. You want to be able to hear what's going on in the game, but at the same time, you want to be able to hear me. Well, I like to think people want to be able to hear me. We also got XP, Expertise, Dilithium, and a special daily bonus of an extra 500 Dilithium, so this worked out pretty well. Yeah, we've already heard this conversation like 3 times now. Was that really?
Starship on a research mission for
I'm not ready for you yet. We'll get to you. Was that really all they were going to do for the patrols? Only 1 patrol was necessary? Man, they nerfed the hell out of that mission. Used to be you had to do 3. Okay, let's check the inventory. Let's see if No, I don't see anything involving the... Oh, is that the marks? Oh, more marks. We'll go Rymelin again. Because again, I'd like to get them out of the way. Picked up a Chronoton mine launcher, but I think I might stick with what I'm using right now. Let's do a quick check on that. Yeah. I like this mine launcher better than this cheapo thing, so we won't be using that one. We will open up the Terran Task Force weapon and get Withering Disruptor Dual Pistols. That sounds like a mirror universe sort of thing. Does the Borg reputation still give the ship assimilation consoles that make your ship look awesome? There may be some debate depending on your tastes, but the answer is yes. Yes, they do. Give me a second here. Let me... Plasma split beam rifle. That might be something more useful for me. Well, actually, I'm kind of happy with my high density thing that I paid dilithium for, so we'll keep that. And I don't see anything in here that does that triple marks thing, so I'm going to have to assume it's a buff. Going into the reputation, under the Task Force Omega, I believe they start opening up at... Where the hell do they start opening up at? Mako, Omega, Adapted. Maybe it's the higher tiers. Or maybe it's the lower tiers. Well, here we go. The Assimilated Regenerative Shield Array. So there's one of the assimilation abilities. I'm not sure when the console becomes available. Let's see. If I recall correctly, the console itself doesn't do anything doesn't do much for your appearance. The shield and the engines are the ones that really alter the look of your ship. If memory serves. There's these, oh yeah, and the deflector dish. Cutting beam. Yeah, so all those Borg toys, they're still around, and you can generally find yourself getting the Borg stuff either by doing a lot of patrols and getting those boxes, or by doing the special task forces like Infected and the Kittimer something or other. Oh, let's take a look. If I wanted to go after Omega marks, here we go. You got the Kittimer. Okay. I'm not entirely sure how far back your experience with all this is, but Infected used to be a single task force. The Hive used to be a single one. The Kittimer something. It wasn't Kittimer Vortex at the time, I can tell you that. And Infected were all originally a set of 4 task forces. Pre-Delta Rising. Yeah, I just can't remember when the task forces became a thing. Hey, it's a 10-year-old game. It's a wonder I can remember half the things I do. But they've broken them down into space and ground components. This Borg disconnected one's kind of new. But these are some of the ways you would be able to get the Omega marks necessary to upgrade your reputation and do your thing. Alright. Now we will have a conversation with Commander Mena again.
A Federation starship on a research mission for the Alliance, the USS Callisto, has sent out a general distress signal. Intelligence needs you to find them. If they were preyed upon by one of the more aggressive species here in the Delta Quadrant, we need to know who it was.
That would be most of them.
And if they stumbled onto something one of those species didn't want us to find, well then it's even more imperative we find that ship and its crew.
Alright. We have standard XP and expertise in dilithium trifecta, and an intriguingly named Vaadwaur cluster torpedo. That's foreshadowing. Also, before we kick off, I did notice the splendid graphics telling me that I had gotten another specialization point. Okay, maybe I didn't get a specialization point. What the heck was I seeing? Okay, I'm somewhat confused. I'd sworn that I had the, You know what? I am not going to worry about it. Instead, we are going to rock and roll to... Good heavens, all the way down there? Yeah, we're not going to inflict that kind of travel on you. Trains warp. Ordinarily, I'd take the long way, but that's a cruel thing to inflict on the folks watching the stream. Callisto was sent to this unexplored area of the Delta Quadrant. Contact was lost some time ago with the ship. Let us begin. Well, I see we're back to the painfully slow first 30%. Oh, that's not really fair. It usually, there we go. It jumps to 30%, and then we start rolling. One day, one day. We have arrived at the location of the distress call. We're no longer receiving the distress beacon, but sensors are picking up debris consistent with a Luna-class Federation starship. That's not good. Scan the wreckage. Let's see if we can find any survivors. If I recall correctly, this could be something very interesting here. For more reasons than are readily apparent. Oops. Stop button. Stop full impulse. I meant to do a stop here. Primarily so, I didn't overshoot. Haha, that worked out well. No luck. No life signs. The Callisto had a crew complement of 350. Unfortunate. Boy, that's cold. Can we identify who attacked her? We have an incoming message from an outpost station. Oh, that could be helpful.
This is 7 of 9, part of a Federation research team assigned to the USS Callisto. My team and I were investigating this outpost when the defense systems activated and destroyed the ship.
Well, well, well. We just got here.
I am aware of your service record.
Well, the background
Thank you
changed
for
there, didn't it?
responding to our request for assistance. I was able to deactivate the outpost's defenses, but the system sent out an automated distress signal upon shutdown. It is logical to assume that someone will be arriving to investigate. Please transport my team and me to your ship. I will be of more assistance to you there.
Yeah, I'd like to know more of what's going on there. Now, I was kind of curious if they were going to update 7 of 9 to her Picard appearance rather than her Voyager appearance. And her general attitude as well. Because once the Picard TV show came rolling around, naturally they threw in an episode in the game which included the new 7 of 9. And she has a very distinctly different characterization, shall we say, than what we have here.
Long-range sensors are picking up inbound energy signatures. Voth ships. They must lay claim to this system.
Of course, really, if they did that, they would have had to go hog wild on redoing all of her dialogue in this expansion.
Attention, trespassing and no therms. You are trespassing in Fourth Alliance space. Surrender now, and we will allow you to live out the remainder of your lives on a prison world.
Yeah, no. Roy, that's as much you sent over here? You If you're going to threaten me, at least bring one of your big boys. I mean, this is almost insulting. Of course, I say that as they're hammering my shields. Yes, chase, chase, chase. Hull damage is going up. That's inconvenient. There we go. 1 down, 2 to go. Let's buy some time. Oops. I appear to have miscounted. Yeah, hearing the word shields failing is never a good thing to hear. Unless it's theirs. I'm okay with theirs going down. Okay, which way did he go? Oh, there you are. I've noticed that Voth are fond of science abilities. I'm pretty certain they were developed that way. Alright, now we have 2 to go. I think. Yeah, I can do that too. The irony here is that they're using some of the same kind of equipment that I am. They seem to be using similar torpedoes. I would love to say that seems to be all of them, but I'm still seeing plenty of red on my display up here. And that tells me the bad guys are still hanging around here. Up, and there we are. Okay, they have seriously upped their game. Whoa, whoa, I need those shields back. Now, one of the nice things about this game is you can bounce off of asteroids and not actually suffer harm from them. Not like, you know, certain other somewhat more realistic games. They can, however, pin you down pretty nicely. Oops. And naturally, since I had my repellers on, now see that orange hemisphere? That's sort of a shield that they've got available that makes them pretty much immune to harm from that direction. It's a catchy ability, although it is a pain in the butt. Maybe if I take out that frigate. Get myself clear of some of the hostiles. Oh, not good, not good, not good. Well, the good news is I did get rid of the frigate, so that much is right with the world. The bad news is my hull looks like Swiss cheese. So we're gonna take a brief pause on this and try to get some of that hull back before I re-engage. And if I wind up making that, okay, looks like we're back into it. Man, all my shields in one shot. Okay, that's not good. Miracle worker time again. Let's get those reinforcements. Not exactly something I wanted to bring out right away, but why extend the fight longer than it has to? Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, that's a little rougher. Yeah, that might be pushing things a little bit for me.
Where are they going? It's not like the Voth to leave a battle they would have clearly won.
Yeah, that one, Citadel ship, yeah, they would have probably beaten the living tar out of me. We're receiving a distress call from the Turay homeworld.
This is a general distress signal for any ships in range. This is the Turay homeworld.
Turay, there we
We
go.
are under attack by an unknown force of immense power. We require immediate assistance.
Hey, Seven, who are these guys?
The Turay are a spacefaring culture that Voyager encountered in 2376. They claim ownership over the underspace, which are corridors through subspace that significantly shorten travel times here in the Delta Quadrant.
That sounds useful.
Command has been attempting to contact them, without success. Access to the underspace would be a distinct advantage for our fleets.
You think it was a Voth? I don't know if I'd buy that one, because, you know, they just took off like bats out of hell.
That is one possibility. To my knowledge, the Voth and Turay are not enemies. However, there is still much we do not know about the Delta Quadrant.
Well, it's a distress call, and, you know, distress calls for just about everybody means go and see what's happening and try to help. Except maybe for Klingons. I rule out nothing when Klingons are involved. Course laid in. And the painful loading begins. Painful loading. Really, these missions are like at least 5 years old. They should be able to load a little faster than this. There we go. Maybe they're trying to simulate commercial
We arrived in
breaks.
the Turay system. The Voth ships are in combat, but they are not engaging Turay vessels. Their opposition does not conform to any known ship in the database.
It's amusing that I can say they're packing quite a punch when I can't even see the things going on over here. And even when I can see, I'm not horribly impressed about it so far. Okay, now I'm impressed. Whoever these assailants are, their technology is exceptional. Even the Borg do not have ships such as these. I feel like 7 should be saying that. Oh, good. And one of them is broken off and moving in our direction. Awesome. I guess the Starfleet kind of thing to do would be to open hailing frequencies and... Ew. And now we're dealing with what I consider the most annoying enemy starships in this game. Even though they have not been fully identified yet, although you can probably make some guesses at this point. And unfortunately, they will be everywhere. So this is going to be a constant refrain throughout this entire arc about how much I hate fighting these guys. And this is just one frigate. This is going to get much, much worse. See that? 2 shots. 2 good shots and I'm down. Saying that I hate these guys is like saying I love to eat and drink. Yeah, and that's without those crazy torpedoes. Oh yes, I have nothing good to say about these guys. Not good, not good, not good. This could be a lot worse. At least I'm in a ship that's fast and maneuverable and can get out of the way of those things. When I first did this, I was flying a cruiser with its, shall we say, less than highly maneuverable abilities. Getting out of the way was not a practical course of action. Go, mines, go. Go, mines, go. Well, we finally managed to whittle them down to 24% hull. Oh, finally. Yeah, we'll learn to hate these guys.
Whomever they are fighting are speaking on an open channel. We can listen to their communications.
Sounds good. What do they got to say?
Your defense of the Teray thieves
will be your undoing.
Subtle.
The Teray and Voth have a long-standing allegiance. The Teray's exothermic nature makes them superior to the other feeble races of the Quadrant.
Gee, the Voth giving props to somebody. I am flabbergasted.
Then you will be loyal to the death.
Yeah, you know what? This sounded like it was going to be negotiations, but these don't sound like negotiations. Yeah, it does look like we might be of help on the surface.
The surface of the Teray homeworld is being devastated by the debris from the Voth vessels. The Teray do have a
there's a
defense
lot of
network
debris.
of satellites and shields that is capable of protecting them, but the control network is offline. This was intentional. Their attackers deliberately targeted the area during the initial assault.
Makes
There is
sense.
a secondary
Darth
command
Vader would
center
be
on
proud.
the outskirts of one of their major settlements. If we transport directly there, we will be able to restore the control network.
Sounds easy. Let's hope I don't regret having said that.
The invaders attacked this facility, but they did not do significant structural damage. They were, however, able to take down the control network controlling the orbital defense grid. That defense grid is the only thing capable of stopping all of the debris from the battle in orbit from raining down on the planet. Small pieces will burn up in the atmosphere, and your ship's weapons can deal with some others, but a significant percentage will get through. Until that grid is operational, there will be widespread devastation.
Then we better do something about it. Yeah, there we go. Look at all that. Nice bit of effects there.
There was a firefight here. One of the Teray is injured, but his condition is stable. He may be able to give us more information about the invaders.
Works for me. Let's see if we can get this guy standing up again or if he'll croak on us. Okay, well, that's something, I guess.
Thank you. My name is Bellis. You're from the Romulan Republic, right?
This guy is really well informed. I mean, we just got here all the way from the Beta Quadrant, and he's identified me as a member of the Romulan Republic. Seeing that he's from the Delta Quadrant and probably has never seen anybody from, well, anyone in our part of space, honestly, except I guess for Voyager folks. And there weren't any Romulans on Voyager.
The ships emerged
Much
from
less
the
a
outer
republic.
space, and they were too close for our defense grid to stop the launch of drop pods. In minutes, they had knocked out the grid controls, and we were defenseless. We barely had time to transmit a distress signal.
I could ask what is under space, but honestly, I already got a decent explanation from 7. I don't need to know anymore. I need to know who's attacking.
The attackers were Vodwar.
Color me shocked.
Voyager did indeed interact with one of our corridors, but instead of deleting the info as we requested and going on their way, they revived our greatest enemy. All of this destruction, every death, it's all Voyager's fault.
I feel we need some elaboration.
Impossible. It cannot be the Vodwar. I would know.
7. Who are the Vodwar?
This is all my fault. When we first encountered the Vodwar, they were in cryostasis. I foolishly awoke their leader in a moment of curiosity. I didn't know their history. They were conquerors, despots. The Vodwar used underspace to rule the Delta Quadrant for decades. It was only when the other races banded together that they were defeated. The time we encountered them, when I awakened them, Captain Janeway said she probably would have done the same thing. But it wasn't her choice, it was mine. I am responsible. However, the Vodwar we encountered did not have a level of technology like what we face here. This is far beyond anything the Vodwar are capable of developing in such a short amount of time.
That may be, but they're blowing up Voth ships left and right, so clearly they got better.
My analysis remains unchanged. We need to restore functionality to the defense grid. There are 4 nodes located on the edge of this complex. we must restart these nodes and realign them to the central tower to re-establish the grid.
Alright, let's go in.
I'll go to the
Watch for
central
trouble.
tower and start the initialization sequence.
Excellent, then. Oh, that answers my question of how do we get in. And look! Things are already escalating. Oh, I would imagine it's time to start shooting people. Now luckily, on the ground, the Vaadwaur aren't quite as lethal as they are in space. That said, anyone's lethal in sufficient numbers.
It was a door best left unopened.
That's okay, Seven. I'm blaming you too. Seriously, straight out of Lovecraft. Don't call up what you can't put down. Oh, grenades. Oh, right. This must be one of the defense nodes that I'm waiting for the red alert to go away on so I can start getting options again.
No further hostile beams detected.
Alright, let's analyze.
Complete these steps in the correct order to initialize and align the node.
Oh good, that's what I needed.
First, you must reboot the core matrix.
Reboot.
Next, you must charge the capacitive relays.
Charge.
Finally, you must align the main relay.
Reboot, charge, align. Simple enough for even me. Reboot. Charge. And align. Oh, that was mildly painful.
Uplink established.
Okay, well, that gives us a pretty good idea of what to expect here. More Vaadwaur. They're kind of on the way, so we might as well do what we can over there. Let's drop an orbital strike. You're not the only ones who can drop things from the sky.
When we first rescued the Vaadwaur, we thought we could be allies.
Oh, that was a swing and a miss. I think the ally thing went right to pot quickly. Let's get a couple of those drones rolling. And for that matter, let's get some of these plasma turrets rolling. Oops. That was one of my people who just went down. Conveniently right next to me. Cough, cough, cough. Who gave my people smoke grenades? I did. How embarrassing. Okay, let's analyze this one.
Analysis complete. Perform these steps in the correct order.
Let's see what this one is.
First, you must launch the startup sequences.
Launch.
Next, you must update the defense protocols.
Update.
Finally, you must align the main relay.
Launch, update, align. I can do that. Launch. Please stop sticking your gun through my head. Update. And align.
Defense node online.
Number 2. Our situation is improving. Let's keep the streak alive. Oh, looks like some commandos, and looks like they took down the turret. Okay, can I grab an item without a lockbox? Okay, well, I tried.
No further hostile beams detected.
That's nice. Unfortunately, I'm seeing plenty of hostile beings right over there.
Inform our superiors about the Vadwar threat.
It's on the list. All right. I think we know how this will go.
No further hostile beings detected. I have completed my analysis. First, you must access the AI subroutines.
Access.
Next, you must reinitialize the kinetic dampers.
Reinitialize.
Finally, you must align the main relay.
Access, reinitialize, align. Access. Reinitialize. And align. It's a lot easier when you try to pay attention to the keywords as opposed to trying to memorize the entire option. 1 to go. And oh, look, we have company. Now, some of the Vadwar have some pretty interesting abilities. We might get a chance to see some of them somewhere along the line. Their tech guys are especially entertaining, shall we say.
When Admiral Tuvok asked me to leave my post at the Daystrom Institute to assist the Callisto, I thought the probability of seeing Vadwar was statistically insignificant.
I can never pass this up. Yes, well, unfortunately, it looks like statistics decided to get involved. Drop the bomb. And we should have one more group guarding here. Well, maybe not. Gee, we found the one area that's easy.
To escape the Vadwar. My analysis of this node is complete. First, you must reboot the core matrix.
Reboot.
Next, you must update the defense protocols.
And update.
Finally, you must
Ooh,
establish the satellite uplink.
Reboot first. Then we have the update. And finally we have something that is not the align. Satellite uplink. Done.
Connection reestablished.
Let's turn everything on and watch the fun. Our work is done here.
Romulan, I need assistance at the central tower.
When will I learn not to taunt fate like this? And actually, it's all the way over here. Now this is where things start getting potentially messy. In fact, so messy that I'm getting my drones out right now. Let's put out the plasma weapons. Let's throw out the quantum mortars. It is quantum, right? And let's see if we can get some people recovered here. Since I have the option to heal somebody, let's heal them. Let me get the medical help. And then we'll talk with Bellis.
You're team did an excellent job getting the defense nodes back online and realigned to the central hub here. The restart process will take some time, but the defense grid will be active in about 2 minutes.
Seriously?
We'd be in good shape if the Vaadwaur hadn't launched more assault pods. These are mobile transporter pads used to bring more troops to the surface rapidly. I assume they're coming to stop us from restoring the defense grid.
Okay, well, time for last stand time. This is where things start getting
The Teray took control of underspace after
ugly.
the Vaadwaur were defeated. Clearly, the Vaadwaur object.
Oh, might as well start dropping bombs. We'll even throw out the Horda and see if that'll help. Try to heal some soldiers because...
Vaadwaur reinforcements approaching.
Seriously? This is gonna be rough. I'm beginning to wish I'd used those split beam weapons. Oops. Let's get some cover here. And Shayla's down again. Why does Shayla always want to fall down on the job, I tell you?
The Vaadwaur are relentless. Probability of our survival is zero.
Thank you, Seven, for those encouraging words. I can see why you became a captain of a... Oh, wait. You're not a captain of a ship anywhere. Oh, but now Varsel's down. And I have no idea where he's at the moment. Aside from, you know, not right here.
The Vaadwaur are tenacious fighters. We must be more so.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. My drone's active again. Quantum Mortar still seems to be active. That's good. Not so good is the fact that we have even more of these guys coming in. Oh, what's this?
We can't keep this up forever.
No kidding. Oh, I recognize these things. The dinosaurs have come to play. Unfortunately, it also wiped out my healing and shielding turrets. Now, it does seem that we've gotten the worst of everything out of the way.
No further hostile beams detected.
We got lots of loot stuff here. Now it says defeat final wave, but they're talking about no more hostiles. Ah, there we are. Let's drop the bomb. That should take care of most of them. Meantime.
No further hostile beams detected.
Oh, someone already got Varsal. Awesome. The Vaadwaur are retreating to underspace. Even with their defense grid online, the Teray couldn't have defeated them. Why leave before they finished the fight? Gosh, maybe it has something to do with the dinosaurs that showed up. Ooh, an Endeavor box got completed. I wonder if that was before or after the patrol mission.
It is not odd. Voth reinforcements have entered orbit. These Vaadwaur do not want to do battle with an obviously superior force.
Really? Because, you know, I saw them kind of tearing your ship to tiny, tiny bits.
While we did sustain great losses, we have made good on our agreement with the Teray. Bellas, we have restored your defense grid.
No, you didn't.
I'm not interested in petty squabbling about who did what. The grid is restored and we are safe. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Voyager has entered orbit, and Tuvok is requesting to beam down to our position.
Seven of 9.
Admiral.
We detected the destruction of the Callisto. What?
It was your fault. Your ship invaded the Voth outpost. You woke the Vaadwaur.
Vaadwaur. Interesting. Starfleet intelligence did not consider them a threat. We believed their numbers were few and their technology outdated.
You do a little bit of an update there.
You were wrong. The Vaadwaur have returned, and no one is safe.
I see. 7. Voyager could use your expertise again. Will you return to the ship?
That would be acceptable.
Seeing that the
Very
Callisto
well.
went to tiny bits.
We will take the other survivors from the Callisto as well. Thank you.
Sure, no sweat.
Voyager, 2 to beam up.
Seven and 9 has safely arrived on Voyager, and the Vaadwaur on the ground are no longer a problem. The Voth commander has indicated his forces will deal with any remaining hostiles. We're cleared to return to the ship. I am all for that. But first, I'm gonna grab the loot drops that popped up here first. I guess most of them went away during the cutscene. I'm never 100% sure how long they last before despawning. Ooh! I can't pass this up. I'm a slave to my passions. And my passions include taking harvestables wherever I can. Okay, now we'll beam to the ship. Judging from the slow speed of the load, I'm assuming that we're loading into Terrae orbit as opposed to, I don't know, sector space. But I could be wrong. Yep, there we are.
Thank you for assisting 7 and lending aid to the Terrae. However, the discovery that our old foes, the Vaadwaur, have made such a leap in technology and are now threatening the entire quadrant is troubling.
No kidding. You guys fell down on your intel.
Thank you. Without your help, my team and I may have been killed by the Voth. Now, however, I must turn my attention to the Vaadwaur. I am responsible for their return. I must assist in their defeat.
Go for it. We are cleared to depart. Why don't we do just that? Now, any moment now, we should probably...
I've read Admiral Janeway's
Yep.
mission logs from Voyager. It would be troublesome enough to have the Vaadwaur return in force. They're an aggressive and difficult species, but if they have technology and forces that can defeat the Voth, this does not bode well.
Understatement of the year. There's our XP, our expertise, our dilithium, and the Vaadwaur cluster torpedo. It would be nice if there were anywhere remotely as dangerous stuff they fire at us, but it's not. Worse yet, I'm pretty sure that this does not deploy the mines in any way that would be useful for the mine-laying abilities that Lauer there has. So I really don't see myself using that particular reward.
Not all the experiences of the USS Voyager crew in the Delta Quadrant were positive.
No kidding.
Captain Janeway made some tough decisions to get her crew home. And more than one species felt like they'd had a run-in with a supernova after she'd been through their space. These These ill feelings have festered for decades, and they haven't aged well. We need to do what we can to assuage them.
Really? Because, you know, your dialogue says assuage, but the text says soothe. How hard is it to stick to a script? Okay, standard well, not standard, because we got piddling for XP or expertise. The outcome is basically another one of the patrols, which will hopefully have more than one on it. Before we do, however, I'm going to take advantage of this Endeavor box that we got, and see if we get anything entertaining. R&D and cash. Yay! I know, it's hard to conceal my enthusiasm. Let's see, anything that's useful on here? Oh, gee, it looks like we have a possible replacement here. I've got a plus 26 regen versus a plus 20 regen. I think replacing the regen is the way to go. Everything else I think can stay put. I don't really have a desperate desire to change the deflector dish at this point. Stealth is not a problem. Exotic particle dance generator? Maybe. Drain expertise? Not very helpful. I think I'm getting more out of keeping what I've got. So a whole lot of these things are destined for the chopping block. And it will probably happen sooner rather than later. The real irony here is we had all these Voth landing, and here I've got a option to defeat ground Voth for one of my personal endeavors. That really hurts right here. Now I also see that the Universal Endeavor says we can start a duty officer recruitment assignment at New Rhymeless Command. I'm going to try to remember that for the end of the stream, so that I can take advantage of getting that too. In any event, we have a patrol at the Nasordin system. All the way up here. And adding insult to injury, it does not have a transwarp option. I don't have a Delta Quadrants transwarp here, which is also annoying, so it looks like we're going to have to take it the hard way. And because, you know, we can't do anything the simple way, the autopilot isn't even going to put me in the correct direction. That's really annoying. Okay, luckily we do have Quantum Slipstream to play with, so let's use it. I'm not sure why I was at half speed on that one. While we've been going, let's see if we've gotten any better. Okay, we've been pretty good on our Starship Mastery unlocks. We're up to Tier 3, which gives me increased energy and kinetic damage. More damage is always helpful. The next one on the list, which will be happening relatively soon, is Tier 4, which will give me additional 2.5 crit chance. And after that, I will gain the Starship Mastery of Harrying Maneuvers, which will be usable for any ship I fly henceforth. If I have them, you know, set. Sadly, I do not have pilot skills or no, I don't have pilot skill abilities. I don't have the emergency powered engines, so I'm not going to really benefit off of this. Although now that I think about it, that's a commander substation, I guess? No. Oh, pilot station. Pilot station. So if I had people who had, you know, pilot abilities, this would be pretty sweet. Oops, I seem to have overshot. Will I aim to the right spot now? I am. Excellent. You know, that didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. I must have done pretty good on that quantum slipstream. So, closing in on the Nasorden system. Who knows whose nose got pulled out of joint there? Nasorden has 6 planets orbiting a Class D star, the largest of these worlds. Nasorden 3 is also the only one that can sustain life and is home to more than 6 million inhabitants. The Nasorden are known throughout the quadrant for their consumer technology. Sounds kind of like current Earth. And have recently begun developing replicators and hollow emitters that improve upon designs left in the quadrant by the USS Voyager. Something Prime Directive something. Their largest trading partner is the Bamar Sovereignty. I feel like that it should be the Omar or something like that because that apostrophe, but you know. But frequent disputes between the two groups often slow the flow of goods to a trickle. That's a Borg. What happened here?
Hostiles dropped out of warp and attacked without warning. Their ships were fast and powerful, far beyond our capabilities. They disabled us and left shortly thereafter. Curiously, one of them communicated to us. He said scavengers would come to pick apart our ships. As we are defenseless, that was an unsettling statement. Can you help us?
Now this probably requires a little bit of background knowledge that we probably would have gained if they'd had the 3 patrols back in the first patrol way back when. But since they didn't have them there, we probably missed the background information on here. But the short version is that there were a number of Borg that managed to break free of the collective for some reason or another. Don't recall the details. But they were having a little bit of a hard time adjusting to, you know, individuality. They wanted to put together a new collective of sorts, get the hive mind rolling again, but without the Borg tendency to assimilate everything they saw. The Voyager crew, or one specific member of the crew at least, got suckered into pretty much making it happen. So they created a Borg cooperative. And they don't have any great desire to assimilate anybody who doesn't want to be a part of the cooperative, or something along those lines.
This is Cooperative Cube 1138. We are here to help.
That is impressive backup. If I'm going to get backup from somebody, a Borg cube backing me up is not a bad thing. Still, it's awfully weird to be helping the Borg. Oh, the ship's warp core is close to a breach and an explosion is imminent. Don't know if we can beam all the crew off in time. Grab everybody we can. Awesome. That's the kind of thing you want to see when our shields have gone down. Oh good, boss. Well, you know what? Okay, it's not exactly great either. Still, if I've got a Borg cube giving me backup, this shouldn't be too horrible. Okay. Good news is bad guys are gone. No idea how many people we got out of there, but let's hope.
Thank you for coming. Our situation is quite dire. Life support is failing ship-wide, and so is artificial gravity. We're unable to conduct repairs at this time. Can you provide assistance?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's get your life support set up, and then you ought to be able to fix your other stuff, because you know board tech better than we do.
Thank you. We'll make our way to a base to
Clean up this technical trash.
Okay, I see the VOD are still being their usual friendly selves. And they seem to be using their heavier artillery. But again, we've got a Borg cube giving us backup. The Borg cube could probably use some help itself. Oh, come on, take damage. There we go. How's that cube looking? Ow! Yeah, that board cubes look better. Oh great, my engineering team could only do 1% of their hull repair. Probably roughly less than that for their shields. Well, the good news is their shields are regenerating. Not so much with their hull, though. I have a sneaking feeling that they're going to blow up in this next encounter. %. So really, I only have to do this another 60 times before they're remotely near healthy. They are so dead. I just want to make sure that I'm not in the blast radius when they explode. This ship's been inundated with radiogenic particles, possibly from passing too close to a dark matter cluster. It's overcharging their warp core and irradiating the crew. Let's modify a probe to generate a dampening field and will evacuate while there's a gap in the radiogenic phase variance. Ladies and gentlemen, Star Trek technobabble at its best. Well, we got all the crew there.
The Borg has found some assistance.
Yeah, y'all can blow up the ship, but we got them all out, so all we gotta do is just blow you up now. Reinforcements, because, well, clearly I can't rely on that Borg ship to stick around too much longer. And I'm not exactly in great shape either. I'm going to cut down the amount of power I have in weapons and put it more to shields in the hopes that my shields will regenerate enough to not make my life miserable. Now that frigate's certainly a better target for me. Oh, not good, not good, not good. Move it, move it, move it. The irony here is that it's looking a lot like I'm going to be blowing up before the Borg cube does. Oh, come on! Oh, we did not need this. We did not need this. I am in trouble. Yeah, boom. Ah, there we are. I just had to look for the big cube. Yeah, we did not need that bit of reinforcement to pop up right in that particular spot when all of my cooldowns to get me out or fight back or repair are all down. Oh good. We'll see about splitting him open. Let's see, who's in worse shape? The answer is none of the above. They're all in pretty good shape. Okay, Nimbus pirates. Let's get their reinforcements in. Oh yes, Borg cutting beam, do your thing. Alright, one more to go, hopefully. And I say hopefully because, you know, I don't think Borg Cube or me are going to be long for this world at this rate. Oh, well, how about that? The Borg Cube is repairing itself. Oh no, no repair ship allowed here. A rescue ship has arrived in the system. We can transport the survivors directly to them. Well, you know, I was going to just beam them back aboard the Borg ship, honestly.
Thank you for your timely assistance. The Cooperative appreciates your efforts. We can take charge of those you have rescued and transport them to friendly territory.
We can do that. We'll rendezvous and drop them off. And thank you for that Borg Cube backup, because, man, this would have been an uglier fight otherwise.
Tracking a large force incoming. Preparing defense stations.
It's never easy, is it? Just when you thought you were out, they pull you back in. Shield, shields. But on the bright side, we now have, count them, 2 Borg cubes available. Of course, the other one doesn't look like it's getting into the fight, but you know, it's the thought that counts, right? Oh, come on. Here we go. Oh, not good, not good, not good. Oh, I did say difficulty ramped up a lot during Delta Rising, didn't I? And, in fairness, this isn't exactly what we would call a tanky sort of starship. Personally, I'm tempted to sit back and let the cube do the work here. But that would hardly be sporting. Here, I'm going to drop some mines off so you can have the joy of them. Alright. One more battle cruiser, well, cruiser, not battle cruiser technically, but close enough. Now, y'all better say you don't detect anything else coming.
You have our thanks. Were it not for you and your crew, none of us would have survived.
Yeah, let us know if you hear any more Voth rumors. Honestly, technically speaking, let us know if you find any Vodwar. Okay, we have the rewards again. And you'll notice that the rewards are smaller this time because, well, this isn't our first mission of the day. These things happen. Incidentally, these patrol missions, they are repeatable. So you can come back and do this mission again if you want it. And, to be honest, you could also do the other missions that were, once upon a time, a part of this patrol chain to get the full picture. And you would do this just by visiting various systems in the Delta Quadrant. We're grabbing more Romulan marks because, those are the ones that we'd really like to fill up. We're working on the Tier 5 on that, and it'd be neat if we could pull it off. Okay, that was not a leveling thing. We've established that. I'm not sure what that was.
Are you familiar with Voyager's emergency medical hologram? He's quite...
Yeah, you know what? We're familiar with that, but we're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to, especially since there's only about 15-ish minutes left in the stream here. So, first we're going to hop back to New Romulus, and we're going to try to get that Endeavor out of the way. And then, yeah. And then we'll take a peek at a little something that I think is still rolling. I don't know if it's still rolling or not, honestly, but we'll find out. Beam to Command Center. Now see, this is loading nicely. Now that we are at New Romulus Command, I should be able to pick up a duty officer recruitment assignment. Okay, it's a little more serious than I thought, but I should still be able to get to it. I'm pretty sure they're available in this direction. I hope they're available in this direction. You? Not quite. Not you. Probably not you, but we'll check anyway. No. I'm pretty sure this guy isn't it. No. Officer Vendor? Okay, well, this is interesting. Got an assignment to start a duty officer recruitment assignment, which is usually the kind of thing you find at, say, the academies for... Yeah. The academies for the Klingons or for the Federation, but we don't actually have that here. This would be the place I would expect to have those missions. Oh! Boy, am I glad I didn't miss that this time. Duty officer recruitment. So, we're looking at engineering, science, tactical, or civilian. Just out of curiosity, what does my duty officer roster look like? 92. So I don't really need all that many. Bang. Just like that. Universal endeavor complete. And yeah, I did all the assignments. Well, all the ones I don't have to pay dilithium for. And we will open up the box here and see what it has. R&D, R&D, dilithium, dilithium. Well, at least that was decent. And a heap of credits. I was really hoping to get the box of marks again, but no such luck. Since we're here, we're going to go to the other side of the building, where I can sell off some of the equipment that I don't really need nor want. Huff, puff, huff, puff. Over here is where we have access to the selling vendors. So we'll go to the store, do the sell, all the way down here, and start throwing the useless stuff away. Some of it's possibly more useful than others, but I'm just cleaning. And don't really need those either. Kind of hate to lose the plasma, but I'll have plenty of opportunities to get further. I hate to lose these guys too. Let me check my weapons for my people here and make sure that they're all using at least Mark 12s. You're using a Mark 12, but you're using a blue Mark 12. Infinity, Mark 11, but you're a Jemadar. I don't want to pose you. How about I check the equipment on my lesser lights here? Give it to Vex a new toy. Flower's more than fine. We gave Tovin the Borg arm, so we're not going to replace that because my sense of humor is too evil for that. Okay. Now we can sell those guys. Never going to use the withering thing. Keeping these guys temporarily at least. And that's pretty much all we need to sell here. We'll do a sort here to keep things neat in my inventory. I'll refine some dilithium. I can refine all of it because my limit's like 8,000. And technically speaking, it's probably more than that because I'm pretty sure as a lifetime subscriber, I can go to this vendor somewhere that would allow me to refine more. I just never really need to. Now I have 88 Romulan marks. That's good enough for 2 more dailies. Which won't get me anywhere near tier 5, but you know, it gets me on the way. Alright, the next thing I want to do, since we're looking to start wrapping things up here, is I want to head over to DS9 and take care of some of those loose end missions I've got sitting around there due to my reputations. And luckily, since they have transwarp stuff available, I don't have to do it the hard way. Nor do I have to use my own transwarp to try to go there. Although I'm not entirely sure I have transwarp capability to DS9. Sadly, what we see may or may not make a whole lot of sense because we haven't really done any of those related missions yet. But you know, it clears them out of my log. That's good enough for me. So we'll close in on DS9, and unlike usual, I'll beam directly to Ops because I just want to get these out of the way. Now this is our terminal where we can do all the Ops records for all these missions. We got another universe and another time. We're covering a lot of territory here. Let's do another time because that'll get rid of the easy one.
After action report, November 28th, 2154. Commander Narrator reporting. Today is a Terran holiday called Thanksgiving, and after today's events, I'm inclined to start celebrating it. Large, flightless bird and all.
Man, I really regret not having done this around Thanksgiving time. Oops.
It started when the Nakul extracted Dr. Eric Soong from prison. It seems they wanted him to devise augmentations for them. One of our agents tried to recover Soong, but wound up getting captured. I led a strike team to a compound where the Nakul were holding Soong and our agent. One of them tried to shoot Soong during the engagement. I took the hit for him. Thankfully, my shield was up to the challenge. Ending the Soong line would have been disastrous. Starfleet would have lost its first android officer. I believe stopping that is something to be thankful for.
Now, in case you haven't guessed, this individual is from the future, from the Temporal Defense Force, I believe. As for who the Nakul are, we'll get to them. Have no fear. In the meantime, Terran Task Force. First transmission.
Personal log, Admiral Lita. So little time. When I was merely a captain serving on occupied Bajor, I had no choice but to rely on seduction and misdirection. All my years working for the Terran Rebellion, and my Bajoran roots were still thrown in my face. Captain Lita, nothing more than a figurehead to placate the Bajorans. Resented by my crew and dismissed by the Admiralty. Then, the Orb of Possibilities was returned, and it showed me the way.
Well, damn. Now I feel
all
stupid.
Possibilities are ahead of me. The Orb showed me the Coast Emojin. Maybe the prophets were trying to warn me. The Coast Emojin showed me a hint of power.
Folks who missed it, we were the ones who brought it back.
Burned away weakness, burned away age, burned away mortality. The future would be mine if I could just grasp it. Admiral, Fleet Admiral, perhaps more. Now, travelers have come from the future. Back in time to give us weapons to destroy the Iconians. Travelers who already know my plans and my fate. I don't trust them. But can I use them?
Man, I really feel stupid having brought that Orb of Possibilities back to them now. Or if I wanted to be appropriate, my god, what have I done? But we also have a second transmission thanks to the Tier 2 we got off of that, so...
Personal log, Admiral Lita. Our temporal visitors have given us quite a few gifts. At first, my engineers were pessimistic about understanding future technology.
A few trips to the agony booth have cured them of their misgivings. Our benefactors have come from our far future to ensure that their world comes to pass. For that to happen, we must defeat the Iconians, and our descendants have given us the weapons to do so. Of course, as Admiral in command of the fleet's flagship, I must insist on the first set of upgrades. Once the Enterprise has the power to dominate the fleet, I can give new weapons to my subordinates, but only to those who prove their loyalty.
Oh, that's ominous. If you might have gotten the impression that the future is going to be playing a part in our, well, future. That sounded better in my head. You would be correct. But we've got a ways to go before we have to worry about little details like the far future poking their noses into our business. And now that we have done all of this, we are going to head ourselves back to the Delta Quadrant so that we will be adequately positioned for next week's adventure. Unfortunately, it is not going to let me go there easily. And I really hope that when I exit out of here, it will pop me out next to the Joret gate, as opposed to all the way back to DS9. Or otherwise, I'm going to feel mildly silly. Excellent, put me exactly where I want to be. Now, technically, I didn't have to do it that way, because when I take the next Delta Quadrant mission, I'm sure it'll have the transwarp button right next to it. But, you know, I like to keep things simple. Let's not overcomplicate things. And with that, we are pretty much at the 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern hour. We're a few minutes short of that, but hey, we can give you the few minutes back. Next week, I will be streaming again the next set of episodes in the Delta Quadrant, which will consist of All That Glitters, where we will be meeting the Doctor. And we're not talking about the one who travels in a TARDIS. We will be kicking off, once again, next Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, approximately. Also, I will be streaming on Saturday, where I will be streaming Star Citizen for my first stream of the new year. Saturday begins at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I would like to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I also would like to wish all of you, in advance, a Happy New Year. This is Korith Landwalker, signing off.